Tonight, blinded by the light.
I feel like I'm going to go into the ditch because I'm trying to avoid going into someone else's car.
How many Canadians weighed in on a federal survey about LED headlights and how some jurisdictions are already trying to address the issue. Also tonight, meeting the demand.
Numbers have been larger than anything we've seen in our history.
How Manitoba's public insurer is trying to keep up with a large number of hail claims after last week's brutal storms. And later, containing the outbreak. Who else is now eligible for free hepatitis A vaccinations as the province tries to rein in rising caseloads?
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Taylor Brock.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joseph Bernacki. Excessive glare and blinding brightness. That's how many drivers describe modern-day LED headlights. They generate so much annoyance among drivers, nearly 380,000 people weighed in on Transport Canada's survey on the topic. And while we wait to see how that feedback is used, CTV's Jeff Keel looks at the regulations adopted elsewhere and what to do when you're blinded by the light.
LED headlights help drivers see better at night. But it's not always the case for everyone else on the road.
You can't see, you have to like slow down, and yeah, it's not safe.
It's like blinding. I feel like I'm going to go into the ditch because I'm trying to avoid going into someone else's car because I can't see.
It's not just the light hitting drivers straight on. They say reflection is an issue too.
Kind of interfering with your line of sight, especially in your rear view.
They're very bright, especially you can tell when they're reflecting.
Because of these concerns, Transport Canada did a survey which closed in April, asking drivers for feedback. They received close to 380,000 responses, which the federal department says will help inform them on work they're doing on headlight glare. Given the significant volume of responses received, analysis and compilation of the survey data is expected to take several months.
A lot of people talk about how frustrating it is, how bright those lights are.
CAA says they do hear from drivers about the new headlight technology.
It is something that I think is probably on a lot of people's minds.
CAA says they support the federal government studying the issue as other jurisdictions have put regulations in place. In Europe, there are rules around how headlights are installed and positioned to control where they beam, as well as a minimum and maximum brightness.
They're even looking at strengthening some of those regulations this year because of the complaints around how the brightness of the lights.
There needs to be a limit on how bright they are. It can be a little blinding when you're just driving, especially if you're in a lower car.
CAA also says there are tips that can help. Try not to stare into the oncoming headlights, focus on the road ahead, and adjust your rear view mirror if you can to curb the reflection. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Last week's severe storm has left a lot of vehicles in need of repairs for hail, wind, and water damage. MPI has now launched a dedicated claims center to start fixing them up.
It's all over the map. Usually hailstorms are pretty consistent, and this one we've seen very large to very small. So it was a bit of an unusual storm in that regard. There's been some very severe damaged vehicles that are coming through with huge dents and their windshield smashed out, and there's other ones that just have fine hail peppered throughout the whole vehicle.
The Crown Corporation's Gateway Road Service Center will exclusively handle storm-related claims. The center offers initial damage assessments for affected customers, which take around 15 to 20 minutes. MPI says vehicle owners who have open claims can book estimate appointments online via MPI's web portal or an accredited repair shop. The center is aiming to service around 300 vehicles a day.
The numbers have been larger than anything we've seen in our history. Right now we're at about 22,000 claims, and for perspective, a large hail claim in Manitoba, a large hailstorm, is usually around 7,000 or 8,000 claims. The previous record in recent memory, going back to from my time, was about 16,000 claims in 2023, so this one has already surpassed that at 22,000 claims.
Bowering says MPI will likely receive between 30 to 40,000 claims by the end of the year. Most of the current claims are from hail-damaged vehicles in Winnipeg, while roughly 500 were caused by other storm-related incidents. MPI will keep the program running for at least the next 2 to 3 months. As of this afternoon, there are appointments available online via MPI's web portal as early as Sunday, and several thousands have already been booked. The center is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mounties are asking for your help after the body of a man was found in a northern First Nation community. RCMP say the 21-year-old man was found dead around 3 a.m. Wednesday in an open area in Leaf Rapids. His death is considered suspicious. RCMP's Major Crime Unit is investigating. Anyone with information is asked to contact Leaf Rapids RCMP or Crime Stoppers. The province is once again expanding eligibility for free hepatitis A vaccines as it tries to rein in a widening outbreak. Free vaccinations are now available to children born on or after January 1st, 2010. Those who are at least 6 months old, those who live in an Indigenous community in Manitoba, travel regularly to Indigenous communities, or have household visitors from Indigenous communities. The province previously made the vaccine available to several First Nations communities and people traveling to those communities, as well as staff and volunteers of community-based organizations in Winnipeg serving people experiencing homelessness and inmates. The outbreak was declared in April of last year and has since spread to various communities across the province. An increasing number of cases are also popping up among people experiencing homelessness in Winnipeg. Winnipeg's mayor has greenlit a special meeting of council to address the city's drug crisis. The meeting was requested by Fort Rouge East Fort Garry councillor Sherry Rowlands. In an open letter to both provincial officials and her council colleagues, Rowlands lambasted current efforts as ineffective. She says current spending on mental health and addiction services is falling short of what's required, and accused the province of leaning too heavily on community-based organizations.
There's insufficient resources on not-for-profits that governments are leaning on, as opposed to having a primary health response and operational teams out.
The province recently announced funding for a 24/7 two-person mobile overdose response team pilot program. However, Rowland says that plan doesn't address the root cause of the crisis. It's unclear what may come of the meeting, which the mayor's office says will be held sometime next week. Rowland says the agenda should include recommendations for a stronger response strategy and ways to advocate for more provincial action. The RM of Gimli has wrapped up an investigation into a cyber attack earlier this spring and says it has no evidence any personal or financial information was compromised. The RM brought in cybersecurity experts to investigate not long after the April attack and was temporarily unable to process some bill payments. Bill payments are once again being accepted at the municipal office and online, and no interest is being applied to late payments for the May 1st to June 1st billing periods. The RM adds, even though there's no evidence any information was impacted, it's always a good idea to be alert for suspicious calls or emails and to monitor your credit report for anything unusual. Passengers on a Winnipeg transit bus are being credited with stopping an alleged sexual assault Sunday night. Police say a man and woman who didn't know each other began talking in the 3900 block of Portage Avenue before the man started hugging and kissing the woman. She broke free and jumped onto a nearby bus where the suspect followed her and allegedly sexually assaulted her. That's when other passengers intervened. Police arrived not long after and arrested a 23-year-old man. Time now to take a look at the city of Winnipeg current weather conditions. 17 degrees right now, overcast skies with the winds south at 12 kilometers an hour. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 59%. Your Thursday night low, 12 degrees expected with a chance of showers, a potential thunderstorm late, of course, through the overnight hours. Winds from the southwest at 15 kilometers an hour. And again, those overnight overcast skies continuing. And for your Friday morning drive to work, a chance of showers, 14 degrees your expected high, winds from the west at 10 kilometers an hour.
Shot from Solomonson, and there is a beautiful tip from the veteran.
A captain's farewell, the latest from the Winnipeg Jets and a former three-time Stanley Cup champion. An NHL star is expected to announce his retirement tomorrow. The Winnipeg Jets have scheduled a news conference at Jonathan Toews Sportsplex for 11 a.m., but didn't provide further details. But TSN's Darren Drager is reporting Winnipeg Jets forward Jonathan Toews will hang up his skates after 16 NHL seasons. Toews returned to the NHL last season with his hometown club after a two-season hiatus due to health-related issues. During his end-of-season availability in April, Toews was non-committal on his playing future, but hoped to stay in Winnipeg. Soccer fans across the country tonight are rejoicing after a special moment in Canadian FIFA World Cup history.
Done well here. Johnston's ball back to the edge of the box. Oh, it's saved by Amanada and knocked in by Kyle Laren. Canada with the advantage. It's Kyle Laren again.
That's the first of 6 goals scored by Team Canada today as Kyle Larin opened up the scoring against Qatar in the 16th minute. Striker Jonathan Daveigh added a hat trick of goals as Canada went on to a thrilling 6-0 victory over Qatar. There was a scary moment, however, in the second half for Canadian midfielder Ismail Kone, who was taken out on a stretcher. Thursday marked the first ever win in the World Cup for the Canadian men's team, and dozens of fans even showed their appreciation here in Winnipeg. This was the scene you'll see in a moment at the Lyric Theatre and, of course, in Assiniboine Park, as thousands of people got together to cheer on the excitement in Vancouver.
The atmosphere is very good. There's lots of Canadian fans here. It's very energetic. It's nice watching it here.
Opening game of the
Fans like Mansour brought their Team Canada jerseys and plenty of soccer gear to the jam-packed grounds near the Lyric Theatre. People on bicycles stopped to take in the action on a sunny Thursday evening. Staff at Assiniboine Park Conservancy say their expectations were pleasantly surprised when it came to the turnout and crowds.
It's so great to see so many people out. You never really know how many are going to show up. It's such a beautiful night, and we're all about just bringing people together, connecting people with nature, connecting people with each other, and that's what we're really seeing here. So it's really heartwarming to see the community come out.
Team Canada will next take on Switzerland on Wednesday, June 24th, which will likely determine who finishes atop Group B in the standings ahead of the next round in the FIFA World Cup. Game time is set for 2 o'clock Central. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are adding a legendary coach and general manager to the club's Ring of Honor this summer.
Well, I think anytime you win, it doesn't matter whether you're an assistant or a head coach or if you're part of the organization, I think it's super. I really do.
The Hamilton defense.
Cal Murphy steered the Bombers to a Grey Cup victory in 1984 from the sidelines and 2 more as GM in 1988 and 1990. Murphy, who was born here, was inducted into the Winnipeg Football Club Hall of Fame in 2002 and the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 2004. Murphy died in 2012. A statue of him was unveiled outside Princess Auto Stadium in 2017. He will be honored at halftime on July 30th when the Blue Bombers host the BC Lions. Registration for this fall's Driver's Ed program is set to begin next month. MPI says it has more than 4,700 seats available during what is typically the most popular term for up-and-coming drivers. Start dates will be available in September, October, and November, with courses posted Friday, July 3rd. The Crown Insurer says prospective students must sign up as a new MPI customer and purchase the driver education service before the end of the day on July 4th. You can find all the details by visiting MPI's website. Grade 7 and 8 students from Shaughnessy Park School hosted a community-led smudge walk today in Gilbert Park. It was the 3rd time the event was held. The focus providing a positive space for community members to engage in healing, establish cultural connections, and learn about the traditional medicines used in smudging. The event was also fully planned by the students as a way of teaching them transferable life skills.
So these are kids who had trouble engaging in the classroom or even with attendance. So we wanted to build life skills, but more in a fun way, but also involve them in their community because this community is so big that we just want people to know that they have young leaders emerging.
The day finished off with a large celebration and solstice feast at a community center.
Theme of today is We're Better Together.
Celebrations in Central Park. What happened in the park today to welcome newcomers all across Manitoba? 17 degrees in the city of Winnipeg. We'll have your complete Skywatch forecast when we return. Taking a look at our first Skywatch picture of the day. This one comes to us from Kevin Friesen. Kevin sent this to us from Steinbach this afternoon. Of course, this cute little squirrel. Great photo. We appreciate that one, Kevin. And our second photo comes to us from the Westman region, Minnesota, just kind of northwest of the Verdun area there. Really cool looking cloud in the sky. This picture comes to us from Kim Halawadi, of course, from Minnesota. Great photo as well. Keep those photos coming to us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca. And we've had cooler temperatures really throughout much of the week as we're already approaching Friday, of course, tomorrow. Taking a look at our futurecast, you can see lots of rain activity, especially in northern Manitoba, of course, Thompson, east of there over to the Churchill area. In southern Manitoba, you can see parts of rain west of Portage-la Prairie there in between the Westman area. Really lots of showers that we've had throughout much of the week. As we move into the early Friday morning hours, you can see that storm system of rain and possibly some heavier rain in between, the Morden-Winkler, North Dakota-Manitoba border. Yeah, of course, that rain stays up in northern Manitoba as well, as that system kind of does a bit of a loop and then eventually moves out later throughout the day. But then again, Friday, you can see much of southern Manitoba tomorrow. Expect a lot of rain throughout the day as we've had through portions of the week. Although today was quite nice as we showed that FIFA World Cup watch party, at least in the city of Winnipeg. People were treated to some really nice weather as they watched the soccer, which was really exciting. Again, by the time your weekend starts, southern Manitoba, things look a little bit better, more clear skies. Again, in the north, though, that rain system still hovering, and you can see as it pushes through and makes its way throughout Saturday going into Sunday. Clear in the south, rain in the north. Taking a look at some current temperatures, 17 degrees in the city of Winnipeg, 14 in Brandon, 13 in Swan River as we move up north, 13 in Flin Flon. A little bit cooler, 9 degrees in Lynn Lake and Thompson, only 2 degrees in Churchill here in Island Lake, 9 degrees. Moving into some of our Skywatch future temperatures. 5 degrees are expected low in Thompson, 6 degrees in Island Lake. You can see that rain. Temperatures only warming to 13 and 11 degrees tomorrow, only 5 degrees in Churchill. So again, on the cooler side, below seasonal for this time of year. Moving into northwestern Manitoba, a little bit warmer. 9 degrees are expected low throughout much of the region. Temperatures warming to 15 and 16 degrees. You see that in Lynn Lake and, of course, OCN and Norway House, the PAW, I should say, there. Moving into the Westman region, 9 degrees are expected low again throughout much of the region. Swan River, Dauphin, chance of thunderstorms there. Temperatures warming up to 19 degrees in Brandon and Neepawa. A little bit cooler in Swan River. Only 17 degrees expected for your Friday high. And in the southeastern Manitoba region, 9 degrees again, most of the region there. Temperatures warming up to 18 degrees tomorrow, expected to round out the work week in Winnipeg and Portage-la Prairie there. Morden-Winkler, same case. And again, chance of thunderstorms and rain throughout much of the day expected. Into northeastern Ontario, you can see 9 degrees and 8 degrees in Kenora and Dryden for your overnight lows. Temperatures warming a little bit, crossing the 20-degree mark there potentially, with overcast and rain expected for Friday. As we move to Father's Day, 21 degrees expected. Hopefully some nice sunny skies as we rebound back to work on Monday. 22 and mainly cloudy skies, and then 20 expected for Tuesday and 23 on Wednesday. A celebration of newcomers to Canada brought families to downtown Winnipeg today.
Theme of today is We're Better Together.
Community members shared their stories, enjoyed cultural performances and other activities at the World Refugee Day celebration in Central Park. It highlights the contributions newcomers have made to Manitoba's economy, social and cultural lives.
When you hear refugee, I think of resilience. These are folks that have left everything behind, loved ones, their homes, to seek safety. And they're trusting Canada to be able to provide that safety.
The World Refugee Day celebration was hosted by the Manitoba Association of Newcomer Serving Organizations and 30 partner organizations. Last year, Manitoba helped resettle 2,500 refugees. A growing number of children are being injured in e-scooter accidents, prompting a warning from health officials. The latest data comes from British Columbia, where 81 patients were treated at the Children's Hospital Emergency Department between April 2025 and March of 2026, more than twice as many the previous year. 35% of those cases involved bone fractures, 26% involved bruises, and 17% involved concussions. Officials say more than half were not wearing helmets and nearly 2/3 were riding over the legal speed limit. Ultra-processed foods are leading to soaring teen obesity rates. A major global study suggests teens who consume more ultra-processed food are nearly 70% more likely to become overweight or obese. These foods are packed with junk like sugar, additives, and unhealthy fats. Because of this, they are more addictive, have fewer key nutrients, and despite being packed with calories, they leave you feeling empty. Diets high in ultra-processed foods and low activity levels has become the norm in recent years. As a result, teen obesity risk has skyrocketed. Carrying excess weight at a young age can lead to more health issues down the line, including diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease.
Wow.
Remembering an iconic Disney voice, tributes are coming in following the passing of an actor who originally made her debut as a child. Your budget-friendly opportunity to explore many of the country's attractions is back for another year. The Canada Strong Pass returns tomorrow and runs until September 7th. It offers free entry to all Parks Canada sites and a 25% rebate on camping fees. People under 18 traveling with parents can get free trips with Via Rail, and travelers between 18 and 24 years old get 25% off their fare. National museums will offer free entry to those under 18 and 50% off for people between 18 and 24. Some museums and art galleries are also offering discounts across the country. Here in Manitoba, the Manitoba Museum, the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, the WAG, and Lower Fort Garry are all taking part. A reminder, the Canada Strong Pass is not a physical object, and you don't need to apply or register to use it. The discounts are applied automatically. It's a sign of the season. The Leaf Summer Display is now open. It's called Prairie Picnic, and it's a celebration of plants that feed the world, physically, culturally, and ceremonially. Located at the Babs Asper Display House, guests will have the opportunity to view picnic tables with unique botanical place settings, a gazebo with living mosaic cushions, and even floating hot air balloons that you just saw a moment ago. Prairie Picnic is included with regular Leaf admission. The display runs through September 13th. Some sad news out of the entertainment news world tonight. Daveigh Chase, best known as the voice of Lilo in the animated Disney film Lilo and Stitch, has passed away at the age of 35.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Wow.
Her father told the New York Times that she died in hospital from complications of bacterial meningitis and a blood infection. He said his daughter, with whom he was estranged, has been struggling with drugs since the age of 13 and had been homeless and living in Los Angeles at the time of her death. Chase was just 11 years old when Lilo and Stitch became a box office sensation, but that wasn't her only iconic role. As a child actor, she was cast as the dark-haired villain Samara in The Ring, earning her international praise. She was also the English voice of Chihiro in Spirited Away, and she played Jake Gyllenhaal's sister in Donnie Darko and starred in its sequel, S. Darko. Fans of Spider-Man are getting a new look at the long-awaited sequel, swinging into theaters this summer.
What do you think they're looking for?
Oh, see, you stumbled across my board. I'm not one of those weirdos, I swear.
He's a little weird.
Spider-Man Brand New Day sees Tom Holland return as the title character, alongside familiar faces like Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, and Mark Ruffalo. The film pick up after 2021's Spider-Man No Way Home, and it sees Peter Parker facing new challenges in a New York City that's forgotten he exists. The Sony Marvel movie is out July 31st. Mango Mania, why a Florida monkey looking for a sneaky treat is catching the attention of neighbors and people alike. 17 degrees in the city of Winnipeg. We'll break down tomorrow's forecast next.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Taking a look at your Friday Skywatch forecast, 14 degrees when you head to work tomorrow morning, a chance of showers throughout the day, those storms developing by 5 o'clock, and 17 degrees expected later in the day. There's some serious monkey business going on in a neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
And I came out and I couldn't believe what I saw. Stealing our mangoes, eating right there. A monkey! This is bananas!
At first, people thought it was an iguana stealing from them until they laid eyes on her. Maddie the monkey lives in a wild colony in the area. Experts say it's unusual for females to leave their colonies, but she's sneaking into people's yards to steal snacks, usually fruit, and another tasty treat, as you can see there. That's going to do it for us for another look at tonight's stories. You can visit us online at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. We'll be back same time, same place. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.